thing. I sold the house so that I can make a donation to your school's science department. They'll have more than enough to support your scientific research now. Oh, what? Oh my god, thank you so much. It was the best news ever. I returned to school super motivated. I'm so into the research. I started to test the findings like real scientists. And weeks later, I was finished. A panel of scientists did their work, and the medicine was coming.
Wow, you two are amazing. This will help so much.
When I told her it was great, she congratulated me, but I could tell she was a bit smart. I guess you'll be going home. Yeah, but I'll be back. I promise. I'll make it up to you, Artina. At the train station, as I was struggling with my bag, I heard Tommy's voice. I forgot everything else. If anyone could find a cure, I always knew it would be you. Thank you for everything. Beautiful, but cowering. Don't worry about cowering. You weren't right for each other, but today is about you. Good luck, Amisa. Moriko is waiting for you. Once I reached home, I gave Moriko the good news, and her doctor soon started her treatment with the new medicine. After a few weeks, the doctor had run tests and was positive Moriko could go in the sun. We drove her to the beach that night. We waited for the sun to appear on the horizon with an umbrella, just in case. I was so nervous that it would give her a rash. It was. The sun. I took Moriko's hand in mine and carefully walked on the shore. She giggled. For the first time in her life, she walked freely under the sun. Oh my gosh, it worked. Does this mean I can be like other people and go on holiday? Yes, it does. Sometime later, Moriko and I took a trip. We arrived at Aunt Tina's apartment out of the blue, and she gave us a warm welcome. It was the last day of Moriko's holiday, and I wanted to make sure everything was perfect. Don't forget your sunscreen, Moriko. Amisa, thank you for everything. But I'm not a baby anymore. You don't always have to protect me. That's not something I can just turn off, Moriko. I'm always gonna look out for you. But you're right. Maybe it's time we both go on our own adventures. That's good, because I think there's someone here who wants to talk. The doorbell rang, and there he was, Tommy. Moriko didn't hesitate. She ran to him right away. You did so much for me, Tommy. That's from me, and also from my sister. Moriko then looked back at me, giggling. Seeing that smile on her face, everything became clear. I had to tell Tommy my true feelings, and I did. Hi, my name is Nozomi from Japan, and I never thought anyone noticed me. Not until I met the sleeping boy. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start at the beginning. Like and subscribe. You won't regret it. Growing up, the only person who ever noticed me was my big sister Akari. My mom traveled for work so much that I even called Akari Mom when I was too little to understand what was going on. My sister would take me to school where I would sit in silence and never say a word to anyone until she picked me up again. And then I wouldn't shut up the whole way. But she didn't mind. She liked hearing me talk, and she liked playing games with me, like making me look like one of her dolls. She would also give me a makeup and use my mom's makeup, or dress up as a monster and have me taste it in my mouth. Rawr! I'm gonna eat your head! My head? Yeah, it's the yummiest food! You really are a little monster! Rawr! When we got older, our mom moved to another country for work. She asked if we wanted to come, but we decided to stay. Akari had graduated from university and had a real job now, so we didn't have much time to hang out. But every Friday, I would wait for her at the train station near my school for when she got out of work, and we would hang out all weekend. And even though we grew up, nothing really changed, except now we didn't dress up anymore. Now we dressed up for real to go out to dinner or the arcade or whatever we wanted. We had the best life. I was thrilled to get back, especially boys. One time when we were at the arcade, I saw a boy staring at me. Akari elbowed me. He's looking at you, Nozomi. Go talk to him. My cheeks got so red, my hands all clammy. I suddenly froze up and couldn't even play the games anymore. Okay, let's go home. You don't have to talk to any boys. But no, it would make me really happy if you could, at least once, for me. You talk to a boy for me. Then I won't have to do any work. She gave me a dirty look, but she was only kidding. I knew she was right. I had no idea how I would ever talk to a boy. Then one Friday, Actually, I got a call, but it was from a random number. Hello?
Is this a calling sister in a place? This is the hospital. Her sister was in an accident. She's in a coma.
All the air left my lungs. In the hospital, I found her lying there with her head bandaged. She looked like she was sleeping. They didn't know how, but she fell onto the tracks and hit her head. The doctor said it was impossible to know when she would wake up. From that day on, I started visiting her every day. I usually read to her, but one day I forgot my book, so I just talked. And when I left, I ran into the nurse in the hallway. If you have time, maybe you can talk to him too. He's in a coma like your sister. I think it was part of the accident she was involved with. He was? I think so. But we don't know who he is. He didn't have any ID when he was brought in. He had no one to visit him? I felt so sad. I imagined my sister being here all alone, with no one to talk to her all day. Before I knew it, I was in his room. He looked a couple of years older than me. I sat down beside his bed and, without even realizing it, I was just talking to him just like I talked to him. A few weeks later, I was finally had things to talk about. That's when I realized something. You know, you're the only boy I've ever talked to. You're a really good listener. I started reading books for the hospital every day after that. One for the sister and one for the boy with no name. Something strange happened after I was reading to him for a few days. Every night when I went home, I would think about it. I wouldn't think that we met and talked and fell in love. I realized it was ridiculous to fall in love with someone I didn't even know. The next day, when I read to him, I tried to push the thoughts away. But for some reason, I just couldn't help but think maybe it was love at first sight. That night, I decided to leave the book I had been reading to him in the hospital closet so I wouldn't forget it. But when I opened it, I saw there was a leather sketchbook inside. I opened it and saw that it was drawings of people at the train station. Every page was a different person. I flipped until I found my sister. I couldn't believe it. I realized then that the nurse was right. They must have been in the same accident. And it gave me a great idea. Maybe